Live from the
Woo!
woods.
Ooh, dang. We live? Okay.
Yeah.
Come on. There we go. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. All right. So if you're following along, when I did the post for this live, I let the preset time determine. So we're showing that we're going live at 10:40 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we're here early. Earlier at the time we always show up at 9 a.m. So welcome to the Brothers of Legacy. I apologize. You come in later. We start early. We're on 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. There you go. Lisa in the building. She already knew. She said,
"What's up, Lisa?
Yeah.
Doing this morning?"
Mama Corey. They got it.
Mama Corey. There you go.
Jeff,
I saw that.
Mama
Jeff.
Corey.
I know Jeff peeped it. Jeff is always peeping my stuff like, "What you doing, brother?"
Jeff was like, "Oh, you giving us a break?"
Right.
He's like, "Oh,
Wait, I can
I
roll
get
over.
to get up at 7 now."
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
If it starts at 10:40, I can't be here.
Right.
Too late.
Too late.
Yeah.
For the day.
Larry's too early with his workout, and you would be too late with
Too late with the show. That gap. That's all the time I got with y'all.
Just saying.
That's all I got. All right, let's go ahead and kick this intro off. Listen, today is kind of a open talk. What did you call it, Thomas? Thursday?
Run your mouth Thursday.
This is Run Your Mouth Thursday with an F. Run your mouth.
Run your mouth Thursday.
Run your mouth Thursday. Said that time did look a little suspect.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go ahead and get started. Be right back.
You're watching the Brothers of Legacy. We don't stand out. We stand up.
Oh, we stand up.
I'm sitting here thinking about this topic, and I'm like, man, this is only for an hour. I'm like, yeah. This
Part one. This is part one.
This one thing. This is almost like what you thought you knew about that new rendering of the logo, and you didn't. For those who know, they know. Oh, that's fire!
Right. I was like, oh, we're gonna post this. Let's see what everybody think.
Yeah,
this
is
is going in
rendering. Yeah, no.
2024. This is dope.
Nah, keep that in the AI cloud.
Shoot, you got to shoot it, right? You got to shoot your shot.
Yeah.
I did. I thought
you shot it.
For those that don't know, on Facebook, I put up an AI rendering that with the tree and BOL, and I was like, hey, break this with BOL in it. I saw it come up like, oh, this is dope. Let me post this and see what everybody else thinks. So my wife comes on and trashes it. She starts off trashing it. Then, and right behind him, Kaneen comes on trashing. And then my man Jason Fletcher comes on trashing. They everybody just trashed it. Cole came through trashing. I'm like,
when you said I'm feeling some kind of way about this, I left my comments to myself because I didn't want to break you. I was about to break you. You would have been like AD have been like you would have had a sign up today. Brother Legacy is indefinitely we're off the air indefinitely.
So thank you, Jeff. He said, I liked it. What happened to listen, Jeff? They trashed. You gotta go back to the comments. You probably were the first one there, and you're like, you know what? That's nice. Then everyone came in and trashed it. They trashed it. Right? Oh yeah, Lisa too. Trash. I'm glad
you didn't even see it.
You had it up yesterday during the podcast.
I did, and I changed it. It was up. You can see pieces.
I was like, oh
yeah. See. What you can see, you like, right?
But what do you see in it?
So so you couldn't see it all. Let me do it this way.
Yeah,
so you can only see
like,
pieces of it.
What did you see in that logo that made you go, yeah?
Oh, that worked.
he said, yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. It just looked different. I think you know what it was. Okay, so
different ain't all better.
No, right. But you know what it was? The fact that what came out was actually what I kind of wrote, if that makes sense. You know, like, so I didn't know it was going to actually write the BOL in there, you know, because I was like, write BOL in a tree, you know. So I think that's why I was all like, wow, it worked, you know. So it just impressed me that it actually wrote it in there. I didn't pay attention. I didn't pay any attention, and that speaks about right. Because these would be the first one. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Well said. So,
listen, I think the tree in the logo that you have right now speaks volumes.
Yeah, it does.
Roots and fruit.
Right.
No, but it was a real tree. It was a real. The other one has a real tree. Real tree comes from real roots. Real roots.
Right.
The real trees can look alive and be dead on the inside.
I was see that. I took my shot. I tried to get it.
That was good though. That was good. He kind of did that.
I went for the layup.
Oh man! All right, so this is Run Your Mouth Thursday. That's gonna be a theme. Run Your Mouth Thursday. So I put in what you thought you knew, but really didn't. Obviously, I thought that rendering was going to be the greatest thing ever, but it didn't. He said, "Yes, keep the logo." He said, "Larry, you tried." I guess my taste is in my mouth. So listen, make sure you guys share. Sharing is caring. I haven't said that in a while. Sharing and caring. Tom's got this good.
Apparently, saying how you feel is good too.
Right? Oh man!
I can run my mouth. You're right about that, Richard. I can't even deny that.
Right? I thought about this, and kind of Thomas jumped in before we came on because we were sharing stuff that we didn't want to share live, but we was talking about kids, and Larry was talking about, you know, some marital stuff going on, just kind of learning and navigating, and it's funny, like things that no matter how many books you read, you'll never really just master. You know, like there's many things in life that if you got enough books, like I got this, I'm good at this now, you know. But when it comes to like children and marriage, that's like one of the things that no matter how many times, how many books, seminars, master classes you go to, it is not like you just got it. You know, you just, boom, I got it. I understand this thing now, you know, especially like marriage is one thing, but children just a whole nother level, because no matter how many people you talk to, you know, they're like, yeah, my kids were like that. Then they became this. And then I did this. And they reacted like this, you know, like, and it's like, and you're trying to apply that same thing. Like, my kids are not responding the same way. Like, they're not responding the way yours did. And I seen what you did. Like they just don't like this.
You didn't use the headlock the right way. You didn't
use the
here.
You
go right here. Yeah.
When they woke up early that morning, you got to give them the headlock.
Yeah.
Then explain to them.
First thing in the morning. Matter of fact, wake them up with it.
You got to wake them up with it. Like get your arm under their head. Oh, time to wake up.
My bad. So, you know, one of the things about, especially like with children,
right,
that's a moving target. So anytime you feel like you have it, that's why you have all these experts who switch up their, you know, this is how you do it, but this is how you do it. I did this and it worked, because it's for me. It seems like every time you say one thing, the child will say another thing. They'll go totally opposite, right? So you gotta start learning how to think backwards, right? So I want you to do terrible in school, and you know, But the crazy thing about the opposite thing is one day they're actually going to listen to you. So
I might try to. I want you to have the worst day possible today.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
Make
Right.
sure.
But then one day when they finally listen to you, it's like, you told me this and you hurt my feelings.
Oh, you know what? Later on.
It's like they finally get it, and it's like, you never know what it is. We had this conversation the other day about how tough it is to parent, and that's one of the things that the biggest fear is parenting and everything else. And so when it comes down to it, it's I heed to what was said that day. Doing your best, do your best, whatever happens. You just did your best.
Yeah, you just did your best. Right.
And as long as I didn't break no necks, I'm good.
Right. But did they die? So you did good. They didn't die. Yeah, I think definitely like the parenting thing is just, no matter, like I said, no matter how much you do, what you read, what you think because I always I thought about when I had AJ, like, he's my oldest. As a baby, I felt like me and Sam was mastering. We smashed the whole parenting thing when they were kids. Like, oh yeah, we got this. We about to write a book on how dope we are. We got this in the bag, up until like 3, then Alexis comes along. I was like, okay, take plan, apply to her. Like, okay, this is what we're going to do. And she was like, this doesn't work. This doesn't work for me. Like, no, you're not going to put me in a separate bed. We're going to sleep together for a little bit. Oh, no, it's time to get up. It's 2:00. I need my time. Like, wait a minute. By 3 months, we had AJ on a schedule. Like, wait a minute. You're not following the plan. So I tell people, like, yeah, when it comes to children, those with the first one, if they got the first one, you think you're mastering it. I promise you, you don't. It's called a jackpot. You hit that wheel, you're hitting it on the jackpot. This first one. What up, Keith Murray, aka
on the second one? That's all.
Right. Right. You got
hard. You had a plan going. You game planned on the way in. You game planned on the way in. Night. The second one came along. You thought you had it. See,
I did. Like, oh, I got the plan. Okay, boom, early, do this. We get it. By second month, we'll have it. Two Guy Foundations. We're all the best. We love that kid. They usually turn into good people, maybe different than us, but still good. Awesome. That's good to hear, Jeff. He said, good morning, Keemster. What up, Kaneem? And
what up, gentlemen? How y'all doing this morning?
So let me ask you this question. Do you think in today's age it's hard to raise good children? Because here's the balance. Like you can give and give to a child. Child becomes spoiled, right? And so, but they also seem ill-equipped to leave the house at 18 now. Like it seems like at 18 they can leave, but they're still not fully equipped. I'm just throwing it out there. Like I see a lot.
Right. So when you go with that, you gotta like, all right. Did you raise your children, or are you raising your children the way you were raised, or are you doing it different? Do you have them in a different environment?
Well, I mean, I don't think you can raise children the way we were raised, because we used to walk to school, do all these other things.
You be out on your own early.
Exactly. So we're automatically spoiling them, because here go. We walked that, I won't say like 1,800 miles, but we walked to school long distance.
Yeah, uphill.
But would you let your kid right now do that walk? Or you're gonna put them in the car and drive them to their destination, right?
Right.
That's what we want to do. So right there, we already in spoil mode.
Right. But that's what I mean. That's the reason why I'm bringing this up. Do you think it's harder to raise children today? Because even though we're caring for them, it's a sense of spoiling. Like,
Oh, darn right. We are spoiling the heck out of them. And what it is try to see where you can draw the line between, spoiling them and they let them learn the hard way, right? Like, so for instance, like driving to school, right? So the kids had an option to catch a school bus to school for high school, catch a school bus to school, or ride with your friend, or if they had a car, they drive, right? That's what it was. So, you know, my daughter, she didn't have the option with the school bus because we weren't in the there. So now her two options was we take her or she drives herself to school. So now she got a license. She wants to drive my wife's car.
Okay.
My wife had a BMW X3. Now who here going to go with BMW X3
the good car?
You know what I mean? No, right? So I'm like, babe, she is not driving that car to school. But
right.
Touch showed up in a Jaguar. Touch has got a big. Has
Wait, we got question.
Oh,
what's up?
What car did she learn to drive in?
Spoiled.
She could learn. She could not learn. She could not learn in the manual because that would have been too much for her to drive. So it was my wife's car at the time. So
okay.
So wait,
okay.
Right there, Larry. You
right.
Learn in the manual.
Got him.
Because that'll be too much. The interesting thing about what you just said is when I learned how to drive, they put me in a stick shift and said, figure it out. This is what it's supposed to happen.
That's how it happens.
You're supposed to do this. You're supposed to do this. If you can't make it go, you can't drive it. So you know, and don't grind all my gears up. So,
don't grind them gears.
Look, I took my driving test in a 1976 Plymouth station wagon, the original SUV with the turnaround third row seat that looks out.
Yes.
My driving and parallel park that thing, right? So we got like, oh well, we can't give them this because if we do that, then they won't be able to do this. And we I think as parents, we're making it tough on our kids. You know, we're not allowing them to have Listen, you guys see me every other Thursday, driving my son to where I'm driving him to. I'm not driving him to school. I'm driving him to the bus stop.
Why can't he walk?
So he can catch the bus.
Why can't he walk?
Well, because it's dark outside. It's dark outside, right? You can't walk.
Right. He got a flashlight on his phone.
It's a mile away. He has to cross one major street.
All right.
He can't even cross one major street at 11 years old.
Okay.
Really?
Right. But I did.
At 11 years old, I was riding my bike all the way across town.
Right.
I was catching the city bus to school at 6 years old.
There you go.
Wow.
But all I have to say, but she what I was saying is to ground her, I got her like a 01 Ford Explorer, and you know. And that's what she drove to school. Where when the heat, I didn't know the heat wasn't working. She didn't tell me until after the season was over. But I was like, hey, she drove to school though.
She made it right.
So I wasn't trying to spoil. I wanted, hey, you want to appreciate what you have.
Right.
You know, I did try to teach her the manual. I showed her what, you know, what's the worst that can happen. You know, I let up off the clutch while the car was in gear, and it went boom. She got out the car, yelled at me, and ran in the house. So I tried to show her. You know, I said, this is the worst that can happen while you drive this thing. It'll just fall out.
You just left a part out of that, though. She didn't just jump out the car and yell at you for no reason, just for letting off the clutch. What'd you say to her?
No. No, because you know,
what'd you say?
It's a 350Z, so it's a sports car. So when those stall out, it's violent. It sounds violent. It's like right. So that scared the heck out of her. She was like, I ain't driving this. I don't want that to happen to me.
Let me back up. My bad. 350Z. You can't let her learn how to drive a 350Z. You can't let her get in the car and be like, figure it out yourself because that thing will be in the wall. Sorry about that. My bad.
Right.
BMW it is.
Right.
Two options.
Wow.
But
you know, okay, so let's look at it like this, right? And I was thinking, so we're talking about like how, you know, our children don't have it like we had it. If we think about it, right? did we have it like our previous generation? You know, because some of the families may not even had a car. You know, like they literally had to walk everywhere, and they might not have been any public transportation. You know, like, so were we spoiled?
Well, I knew what a switch was. I knew what a switch was.
You knew what a what?
A switch.
A switch? Oh.
Yeah.
I knew what a phone cord was.
Right. I'm being honest. So, what do you guys think? Kaneem,
I think we were more. Go ahead, let Kaneem go, because
Yes, sir.
it's run your mouth, and I can run my mouth.
Yeah. Run your mouth Thursday. Run your mouth Thursday. So for you, like, because we're talking about children, do you feel like it's just a new level, or are we spoiling these little wonderful children of ours?
Oh man, yeah, my all three of mine spoiled. I already know. We had a conversation about that a few weeks back, about them being unappreciative and this, that, and third. And I was like, I'll tell you what, I can show y'all better than I can tell you. So what I did was started holding them more accountable, because I got a little lax with them doing their chores instead of me asking and all that. Now I used to be like, hey, the washing machine stop, or hey, the dishwasher stop, or hey, it's time to clean the bathroom. I don't even do that no more. I just go in there and just start confiscating stuff. But, hey, what I do?
You like the Rebo man?
And then I'd be like, it's what you didn't do. I'm gonna keep all this until you find out what you didn't do.
Not to figure it out.
But and all I get is this but that ain't that. I don't know what you need to tell us. No, I didn't tell you not to do nothing. So I need you figure out what you're supposed to be doing.
What we doing?
So I just hold on to it, and then about 3-4 hours go by. You see them running around looking, picking up mail, and like, am I supposed to be picking? Yeah, you supposed to be doing all that. All that. But then my daughter yesterday, she tried to test me, right? So
not the test.
We get home, and so I get my laptop out. I'm about to get ready to submit some invoices or whatnot, and then I'm thinking like, hold on, is the dishwasher unloaded?
Right.
Because the first thing you're supposed to do, my whole motto is do all your work before you entertain yourself. So I didn't hear nobody doing no work, and I'm like,
but they entertained themselves.
So I asked the question, did you unload the dishwasher? She said no. So what I did was I gave it a thumbs up, 2 thumbs up.
No problem. You already know what's happening.
She had to take a pause and be like, "Is that good or bad?" I say, "No." I say, baby girl, it's all bad. It's all bad.
Oh,
Hey, she went in there and she not only did she unload the dishwasher,
right.
She cleaned the counter, she swept and mopped the floor.
Wow.
Yeah.
I said, I'm gonna, since y'all unappreciative, y'all gonna have to figure out. I'm gonna keep y'all on y'all toes as long as I can until y'all realize that you should be more grateful and thankful for what me and your mother are doing. So until then, I'm gonna keep you on your toes. Every you ain't gonna know when I'm on.
And you do
start everything. You ain't gonna know when.
That right there, that part right there. Like what we don't. I think what we miss is how important gratitude is.
Right.
right? One thing that you said out of everything that you said, Kaneem, like when it comes to doing chores, picking up, like in your house, you tell children clean up behind yourself, right? Don't leave something in the sink as a parent for your child. Well, you didn't clean up behind yourself.
Right.
Oh, that's what we doing? Right?
We keeping score? That's what we doing?
Right. Here's my motto. My motto is don't clean up behind yourself. That's the minimum that you can do.
Right.
My motto is clean up, period.
Right.
Even if it's mine.
Right.
And you know what my motto is? My motto is you're gonna contribute to this household. If I got to do everything, if I got to buy groceries, pay bills, take you to school, pick you up from school, take you to work, pick you up from work. I got to cook for you. I got to put the plate on. I got to put the plate on the table and tell you to come eat. And if I got to do all that, then I need to get you a new place to stay. So ain't no way you're gonna be under my roof and I'm doing everything for you, and all you doing is entertaining yourself. So you gonna contribute to the household. Because if I got to do everything, then what you here for?
This is
you grown.
But that's the gratitude piece. That's the gratitude piece, right? Because children don't ask to come into this world.
Right. No doubt.
Children, I didn't have children for dishwashers.
Right.
I didn't have you so that you could clean up. I wasn't, you weren't a baby, and I'm like, I can't wait till you old enough to clean the kitchen.
Mow this lawn.
But that's the lesson. But that's the lesson of gratitude, right? You're not doing it for me. You're doing it for yourself. It's training ground, because one day you're going to have, God willing, you're going to have children, and you'll be teaching them. Right? So don't ever think you're doing me a favor by cleaning up the house that I provide for you. That's not a favor for me. That's just an expression of gratitude. Right? You don't owe me anything, but you owe yourself.
So let me take this someplace, because AD was saying,
you better be glad you ain't my mama.
AD was talking about where we spoiled back in the days, and now we have this generation is just doing what we did, right? It's a whole different ball game, because what Brian just said was like nice, right? If we didn't clean up back in the day, we got our head rolled down the street, kicked, and put back on our neck and said, go clean up, So it's one of those things where, back in the days, we had gratitude, or we got stuff done. Maybe it wasn't because of gratitude. Maybe it was because
I don't think I was gracious.
I think it was survival. We knew it was survival. We had to get it done, or else. Because even Larry was talking about he knew what a switch was, and there's a reason why that he knew what a switch was. We didn't have really dishwashers back then, but did you unload the dish rack? No. Go get me a switch. Those are the words. Go get me a switch. Wait. No, wait. You had your chance. Go get me a switch.
I was just about to.
Yeah, you was just about to go get me a switch.
Right after Transformers. It was almost off.
I told y'all what Shirley McCrory said. You try to come back to Shirley McCrory back in the day, and like I'll never forget. My younger brother said to my mom, if you hit me, I'm going to tell somebody, and they're going to take your children away. She said, you know what? You're right. They probably will come and take you away if I whoop your behind. She said, but then they'll do an evaluation period and they'll bring you back. And she said, and I quote, and I'm gonna beat your ass again. And either you're gonna get tired of me beating you, or you're gonna stop calling him and you're gonna behave. Your choice.
Take the long road.
So that's the house. So it was. So back then it wasn't gratitude. It was survival.
Survival. Huh?
Yeah, you didn't want that. You didn't want what was coming if you didn't get things done. Now, as boys, we tried it. We got the whooping, because we found out that you pull the belt out, that sting lasts about 15 minutes. Right? With girls can't handle the emotional trauma of somebody putting their hands on you. Boys, you get to a point where it ain't really no big deal. You don't want it,
Sparingly.
It's just a whooping. We're gonna have some fun today.
With kids, though,
we used to tease each other about how you cry. We could tell the difference in cries.
Fake cries and everything. You just cry to get it over with, huh? Fake cry. It ain't really hurting.
Right. And then your mom walk out the room and you try to figure who's the first one to giggle. Right?
Right.
After the whooping.
She's coming back. My grandmother.
But Brian said something about it was survival back in the days, and maybe that's what made us better to, more prepared at 18 to get out the house and go do other things. We knew how to survive. Today, I mean, kids think that they can. I see now. I don't know. My kids aren't at that age yet, but they just think they're going to be here for a while. And if you kick them out or send them on their way, it's like, you don't want me no more. No, it's not that. It's just you're of age. You should be able to do certain things, and you should be able to think on your own and live on your own. Get a job, get a career. I don't really want a career. I want to.
I've that ain't it at 18. You ain't there at 18.
Yeah, they're not there anymore.
No. You weren't there back in the day. So the difference back in the day is everything was robotic. Everything was programmed. There was no creativity. Back in the day, you get up, get to a certain age, go get a job, retire after 20 years. And start cutting. And you cut your grass on Saturday, and that was that. But the world has changed. We've evolved. There's no you don't work 20 years anymore and retire.
No,
doesn't happen.
I like that.
So because we're dealing with a different world, the dynamics are different. Now, the fundamental training remains the same.
Right.
But this whole mindset about, raising them and then kicking them out at 18, that was wrong from the jump.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But see, that's why we got to.
I would say that's a personal preference.
No, I remember I used the term kicking them out. I said kicking them out.
Not kicking them out.
I ain't saying launching.
Okay.
There's a difference.
Go ahead. Can you share your thought? Share your thought on that.
It's a personal preference about if you kicking them out, because you got to think about the environment, the upbringing, the history of parents and stuff like that. So I mean, like I left when I was 17. Did I get kicked out? No, not really. I didn't really get kicked out, but I knew I couldn't do what I was doing and stay at my mama's house. So you could say I got kicked out because I couldn't do it there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So but
that was
choices that that's choices that I was
think about what you're saying though, because to me, I think there's a difference between a young adult and a grown up. To me, there's a difference between being 21 and being grown.
I mean, but that's all in perception, also. You know what I'm saying? Because I could say I was grown.
Right.
When I was 18. When I was 18.
18. Okay.
And the reason I can say that because I was doing grown people stuff. I had my own place. I had my own car. I paid my own bills. I did all that when I was 18. But I wasn't mature.
Right.
I was very immature. But I was still trying to figure out what was going on because I had a child when I was 18, like not
Right.
pregnant, but I had a baby at 18. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Okay.
it was
Right.
it was a lot of, like I said, it just depends. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has their own perception of that. So am I gonna kick my
Right.
kids out when they 18? I got one now that's still at the house at 20. But will they be will they be kicked out at 25? Damn right. You got to get the hell up out of here.
You know, the interesting thing is you can, I mean, there's grace. It isn't the kick out, but there is a point where, like Kaneem's saying, at 25, you got to go. Because there's
I look at 25, it becomes contractual.
There's
Right.
a level
Lieutenant.
of understanding when it comes to like, okay, are you mature? You can be grown and not mature, but the only way you're going to mature is if you start experiencing stuff.
Right.
If you don't experience it, you're not going to be
do.
mature. Now, we can use launching or we can use kicking out as a term, but you know, birds, if you leave them in the nest, they'll stay in the nest, right? They won't never learn how to fly. So what does
make them uncomfortable.
The birds do? They kick them out the nest. They push them on out the nest. You're going to learn how to fly, you know?
Right.
And so a lot of times that's what we don't do as parents, and especially in these day and age, we get comfortable with having the convenience of the child around because they can help out, they can do other things. I mean, this time and day and age, well, I mean, some people do. Let me just say this: some people do. What made me even think about this earlier?
They did that being around and watch the dog for you on trip.
And there's just things they could do by having them around or whatnot.
Right. Right.
But for me, it's like, if you want them to experience, Brian, you said something that we had no imagination back in the days, you know, and now they do. They have way too much imagination. They believe that they could just show up and everything is gonna, you know, I'm gonna be rich, you know. Social media has created space for people to do that, and you know, so I think that at times we have to start to really reevaluate how we engage children, because to me, I raise my boys and my kids as if they're going to be adults one day.
Right.
Whether or not they get it, that's on them. But they have all of it inside of them. And when do we start to see if they can, you know, live it out? So we can send them to college. We can send them to live in a dorm. We can send them to the military. We could do a whole lot of things where they start learning interdependence versus just total dependence, because you don't want to be dependent on you and then going into a dependent relationship and always being dependent on something. I think there's a point where we miss that as in this generation, not necessarily us on this call, but in, you know, for the most part, when we start to see the difference in the shifts of how we raise children and the culture of our kids today versus the culture when we were growing up.
Right. That's good. He said this. Let me get some of Jeff's, because Jeff made a good point. He said, as a kid, I never experienced lack, but when I had to start doing it myself, that's when the lack popped its ugly head. Indeed. Lisa says, my grandma would say, call them and I'll beat you in front of them.
Yeah. Yeah, she must be related to Shirley.
Right. He said, wow, at 18, I was more concerned about buying some weed. All right. Rod says, true. That might be an American European culture thing. Other cultures typically let their kids stay in the home. He said, I think there is a certain amount of entitlement with some kids today. I think in certain respects, I think with the imagination, I think it's more bolder to try, you know, new spaces or do other things that we didn't do or even have the opportunity to do, and to just kind of launch and fall on your face and then come back home for a little bit. But you know, Brian said something good. He said at 25, what's that? That's a contract. Now, you know, now we're discussing rent, you know, like, you know, rent and rules.
Because it's accountability, you know. Yeah.
Right. 100%. And I think that's a huge one right there. Like after a certain age, you know, high school is the goal. Like, listen, we gonna make it to graduation. We gonna work together and get you through to graduation. You got to get the basics. You can't go out here without a diploma, like the basics. And then from there, we make a plan and try to can we sync a plan together that makes sense. So and like Kadeem was saying, at 17, he knew what he wanted wouldn't survive in this household. Like, I got to go down. I got to get out this house and do my thing. So I think learning, as children, as we grow up, and now we're trying to teach our own, because we want them to be productive citizens, productive adults, and do the right thing. We learn. So let me ask you this. So Brian has been through, the different phases, and we talk about applying certain
still going through.
Still going through.
Believe me.
Hey, Daddy, where's your wallet at?
I was late this morning because of a daddy call.
Yeah, before you gotcha. You jump into that, let me just something I just thought about. Maybe if we start thinking about the mindset that we have of how much we're trying to protect our children, we drive them to the bus stop, we drive them here, we do this, we do that. Is it that the children aren't equipped to? They probably could be equipped to go out, but are we sabotaging them by
I've been thinking about
same
that
things over and over again? And now you're 18. I'm still trying to protect you, and I'm still trying to make you more equipped to do life instead of
equipped, still protect. Right.
So
right.
we're not going to let you cross the street yet. I know you're 20 years old, but you can't cross the street. You got to wait. Hold on a second. You're not really ready yet. And,
right. I don't want you to get hit by a car. I don't want you.
Is it them or is it us?
I remember back in the day, and I think I shared the story with you guys. We've been talking so long, I'm repeating a story, but it's relevant, I think. My mom was my softball coach. AD, if anybody, I think you remember this story. And me and a guy were I had to be about 13 years old. And we were out on the softball field, and the guy was talking mess to me, and I started talking mess back, and we put the shoulder to shoulder.
Right.
Hitting the shoulder, see who's going to swing first. Right? You remember that. And so my mom was there, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, my mom is here. There's a grown up here. She going to stop the fight. So I can act.
Right.
I'm not born to be.
We ain't about to tussle. We ain't about to get into this.
And she never moved.
Right.
She just stood there.
Right. She
wanted to see how I was going to handle myself. Right. Mm-hmm. And so that's what happened. And so what I'm saying is, as parents, you're right. You don't I remember telling my children, when I look outside the house, I better see you when I look out the window. Don't move outside of the peripheral. Right.
Right.
I didn't use that word because they didn't know what it was. But my point is, I better see you when I look outside. You better not be so far away from the house that I don't see you when I come and stand at the door. Right. Then it became, don't go past the corner. Right. Then it became, don't leave the neighborhood. But for me, there was comfort because I knew what type of neighborhood I had them in.
Right.
Okay. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So there you continue to extend, but you want to mitigate as many issues as you can by what environment you place them in. Right. That's why you're concerned about what school they go to, whose class, who their teacher, and all of that stuff. But to your point, Thomas, yes, I believe, and I apologize to my children, all of them. In the last 2 years, I've said, forgive me. There were things I should have stood my ground on that I didn't. There were things I gave you too much leeway and I didn't. Gotcha. And now we're paying the price for it. Right. But for every strict component of structure, you're going to learn why I did that. I can't worry about the outcome. I got to to your point, Thomas, you said you got to make sure they have everything in them. Right. And that's why the Bible says train up a child in the way that they should go. The word should is in there. What do you mean should? So there's a chance they won't go there. Right?
You think?
Right. But it says so that when they're older, they won't depart from it. That means put it in them, because at some point, what you put in is gonna come out.
Right.
Yeah.
And you got to have the trust and confidence and faith in that.
But that's,
Right.
you know, a lot of times we miss that part of God's will also, that some of the things that people go through actually lead you straight to the will of God. And a lot of times we look at life and we think that it's going to be perfect and that's going to lead us to the will of God. But sometimes we have to be able to experience some stuff so we could see the good and the bad. We can understand what my will looks like and what God's will looks like. And, you know, if I make my choices, you know, my choice is always going to lead me to a place where I think I got it. But then in reality, we realize in life, we don't really know much. You know, the more we know, the more we realize we don't know. We don't know. So I think that, you know, when it comes to our children, we have to give them that opportunity also. And a lot of times we're trying to make it so much better for them that we forget
100%.
they have to struggle sometimes and they have to go through things, and we love them. And but you know, God loves us, but we struggle and we go through things in life. But we see, because we have some experience, that it all works for the good. And a lot of times, you know, I think that that's where, you know, we want the best for those that are around us. We want to see the best for our own personal lives. We want to feel like we're the best parents ever. But, you know, there's a lot of things that I thought I knew, but I really didn't. And it only in time can I really look back and say, oh, that's why. You know,
what did Paul say in 1 Corinthians? He said, but such were some of you.
Yeah.
He said, but the difference is you've been washed, you've been cleansed. You know? And we forget that as parents. And this is the message that I have for my children. There are things that I don't want you to have to go through.
Right. That's mine. Number one.
Right.
But sometimes you put yourself in a position where you're gonna make yourself have to go through it.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, think about,
all I can do is be a parent and love you through it.
Yeah. Well, think about, and this is the example. My baby niece, when that kid is standing up for the first time and they fall back, do you allow them to fall? You know, to fall back and let them figure out how to get back up, or do we rush over to them immediately?
It depends on the situation.
Catch them, right? It's like, so we early on as parents, we don't want to let them fall or fail. We're like, oh no, we're going to catch you and try to catch you. It is that time we got to like back up, let them fall, and then you don't react, because you know how they say if you the kid's reaction is based off of your reaction. So like if you like oh my gosh, they'll cry. Right. But if you laugh, they'll laugh. Right. You just let them be. So you gotta like try to be emotionless in that situation to allow them to emotionless and detach yourself, to let them fall, let them fail, and then figure it out. Right.
Ron says in the end, he said they do listen. I remember a few years after college, I was like, oh, my parents were right.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You listen to you yourself a few years after college, man. Come on, your parents, you were in college.
Get it before. I need you to use that education for something.
use that.
Get it before.
Look, of course they were right. You were in college.
I was exposing my daughter to the ways of men, to how we are, and like I was like, yeah, they'll you know, hear some lines you'll hear, whatever, this, that, and the third, and then she texts me, like, because she went to catch a train to go to this thing or whatever, and then she texts me like 10 minutes later, like, Dad, as soon as I left you, this guy said every word you told me. That was like,
right.
You probably thought I was just been in your ear for no reason, but now
you know. He said, right, Pastor, as such are, so were you. In other words, we did it, but now we learned. Indeed.
Yeah.
Oh.
Folks run on there acting like you never been in the backseat of a car. You know,
I haven't.
My car didn't have a backseat.
What do you mean?
My car didn't have a backseat.
This is two-seater.
Like, I don't get that. I mean, come on, Brian, can you clarify? Kadeem's like back of the car, top of the car, back of the car.
Kadeem had his own spot, so he didn't need to
right. He had his own spot.
The car still worked. That's all.
He was grown. He was grown. I'm grown. I got my own spot.
Look, Jeff talking about love my station wagon. Oh man.
Alrighty.
But no, what's hilarious is, being in your 50s and listening to a young person in their 20s try to make you understand.
Man, that is hilarious. And AD and all you others, you'll understand when you get there. You're not 50 yet.
Yeah, for all of you whose hair is still black,
Hey, hold on a second.
He said I had a
Juggle beard one day, so
Tempur-Pedic Pinto.
I'm gonna get the Fu Manchu going. Watch.
Not
the. Everyone's always talking about my hair on my face. I'll get it. I'll let it grow. It goes straight.
Right. Take down.
Yeah.
Let it grow. I got mine.
As soon as I walk in, you're gonna hit the gong. Boom. Stereotype. Anyways.
You're wrong for that.
Throw this feet up while you're talking and stuff. Hey, how you doing?
Of legacy.
Oh man. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna get canceled soon. It's all good. Listen to the little Richie head too.
Oh man.
Thomas and Jeff.
It's so funny how it's not, you don't even have to be in your 20s. My 11-year-old is still trying to tell me about life. And I asked him, where did you get this from? YouTube.
Right.
YouTube. I'm like, don't you hear? I keep telling you, okay, watch YouTube. I have no problem with that, but check your facts, man.
Right.
I tell you, check your facts.
Right. Like you realize anybody can make a YouTube. Anybody.
I even told him that. Look, we were having a conversation one day on the way to school, and he was like, "Yeah, I learned this on YouTube." I said, "Man, anybody can be on YouTube. Look, I'm on YouTube. Look at all these guys on this right here. We're all just here having a conversation." It was showing one of these shows, but I'm like, anybody can be on YouTube, but you got to check your facts, man.
Check your facts.
Take out a Polaroid picture and say, "This is YouTube." You getting a snapshot.
Hey, fellas, I got to jump, man. Y'all enjoy the day, man.
Make that money.
Sir.
Make that money.
Let it make you.
Don't let it make you.
Don't let it make you. That's right.
All right, gentlemen. Appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you everyone for watching and rocking with us.
Yeah. I'm joking with you. Go ahead.
Well, you ain't got to go home, but
But in the words of Kadeem, you got to get out of here.
Right. You got to get out of here.
Get out.
All right. So we look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow, Freestyle Friday. This is officially Run Your Mouth Thursday. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for always supporting and coming through and sharing and doing all the things that you do. Before we go, make sure you dial 988 if you or someone you love is having a mental health crisis. Make sure you dial 988. I think this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. If I'm not I'm on point. This is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so make sure you support survivors and those that are going through. And if you know someone, pray for them as well as encourage them in this time. All right. So if all hearts and minds are clear, all right. All right. Know that we love you. Jesus loves you better. Stay safe, make good choices, and we will see you in the AM. Peace out.